This is Jesse the Body Ventura. Well, I'll tell you what. Times have been tough, no doubt about it. Tough on all of us. But you know what? So be it. It's the season now to look, smile, and love each other. And there at the Workers Club, you're doing just that. The Workers Club. I love the name.
Okay, it's the Workers Club. It's Gus, it's Larry, it's me, Wilson. That's a little low energy. I'm a little tired. But outside of that, everyone's okay. Everyone's good.
The last 2 days have been like 38 degrees outside both days.
Nice.
So I'm
That's going to make you live longer.
Yeah.
It's like 70 here right now.
I think it got to a high of 50 here, but then on Friday it'll be 80. Nice. And that's going to make me sick. The weather is changing. Oh, man.
Does happen.
Do we have anything that's happened? Anything? That's why I started putting Google alerts for the people. I was like, I'm tired of saying, did anything happen? I can just check an email now. I'll see if anything happened.
There was, not related to the show, but you might think it's funny. I was explaining the Atlantic group chat story to my wife about the war plans.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I said it's the same exact situation. So clearly somebody in that cabinet or whoever was on that is talking with this Atlantic reporter, because why else would you have their number?
Yeah,
right? So they're a source.
They've got journalists in their numbers, yeah.
It's the exact same thing that happened. Remember when Russo accidentally emailed Mike Johnson instead of Mike Tenay and revealed that he was on CNA's payroll?
Yeah.
Same situation.
And what happened to Vince Russo? They fired him. There you go.
Hey, he's down to what, 6 fantasy teams this year?
You know,
4. 6 was too much.
6 is too much.
Cornette last week actually went through every single one of Russo's firings.
Oh yeah,
it was
recently.
very entertaining. They were more than we knew about.
I guess I was going to say at the top here that I know we have like tens of listeners. And I appreciate them. Colin, of course, number 1, OG. I know we're gonna do that 100 here soon. Boy, howdy! If we could get the one email, I'm on my hands and knees here, begging. If anybody feels like they finally have the gumption to email in, just so
you got to post more on Blue Sky this week.
I'll try.
We got to get the interactions back up. What do you call
I
it?
know. I dipped out for a while. I was
Impressions. You're good at it though. You got to keep going. That Dr. Chris PhD. I mean, our new scoops are better than his, or whoever that fucking guy is.
Featherstone. Yeah, he almost quit. He almost quit the biz. He got what happened? What scoop of his was incorrect or got changed, and he got mad that people were upset with him.
Plans
and he
changed.
Said, yeah, and he said, it was something. God, what was it? Maybe something Elimination Chamber. He made a prediction on who was going to win the men's, and I guess it was wrong. Well, he said he was told, and then the plans got changed, And now he's just saying, you know what? I'm not even gonna do. I'm not gonna do those kind of
Oh,
scoops
he's that
anymore.
butthurt about it? Jeez.
Yeah, he's just gonna keep to like WWE is neither impressed nor depressed about Jey Uso's reactions. You know, like just keep it to that kind of like Liv Morgan. People in the backstage love Liv Morgan. Okay. I mean, yeah, we can do that. We do that.
What was the SRS line from earlier? The
Oh.
7 out of 10 or whatever.
Oh yeah, he's mad about which he could be mad about aggregation. That's a fine thing to be mad about. But our thing is with the Fightful scoops. I mean, a lot of them. I understand if you pay $5, maybe if you listen to a Sean Ross Sapp's show or something. I think that's what that had to do more specifically. Is that he does his little it's so just he does his show and he's kind of freewheeling, and then aggregators will listen to that show and grab that and then blast that out what he says on the show on the audio or whatever on the however he does it, and then so he's just like get your own source, get your own deal. But all the Fightful scoops I ever see really are just WWE was really thrilled with the attendance at Elimination. WWE will come back to Europe. Plans are in motion. I don't really see any, I guess, but I don't pay the $5 to get the real scoops. I do know that my favorite Sean Ross tweet is his game where Dave Meltzer will report something, and then Sean Ross Sapp will report the same thing later, but say Fightful confirms. And
do a few of those.
And then the mutants will go, well, Sean Ross, it works because now nobody trusts Dave. But then if he does that, they'll say, oh, well, Fightful confirmed it, so it must be true. Oh, okay. Hey, Dax Hardwood thinks Sean Ross Sapp's the best in the game.
Cool. Can't wait for that heel turn or whatever the fuck is going on.
Oh, what's he gonna happen? Well, yeah, Cope. They're turning their back on Cope. That could have been Phil. We missed out on that. Because that was hit their spot with him. What were they calling themselves? FTRCM? Is that what they were doing? And then
FTR, something
CMFTR, was that what it was? CMFTR. And then it became FTR, rated R FTR.
Rated FTR.
Rated FTR. Fucking hell.
FTR did.
I thought the Grizzled Young Vets were a different team, but it's FTR. They love to pair up with.
Remember when they showed up to no reaction whatsoever, and then they went away forever.
Tony needs to get a little slap on the wrist anytime he brings an NXT act, and they were an NXT act. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Is it time to? Where's Keith Lee? Can we save him? Can we rejuvenate his career? Is it over?
He's injured.
He's injured. Okay.
It's a personal problem.
Man, I miss the Ross report just every Friday. Him burying Mark Henry or Big Show
or D'Lo Brown.
Yeah.
I miss Dave grousing, and this would have been early AEW. Grousing that because Tony comes from a legitimate sports background, that he should be releasing injury reports. That was I loved that. This is the chance to be different. This is the chance to be transparent, and they should be.
Who's the director of talent in AEW? I thought it was Regal, but
I don't know. I think it's Christopher Daniels. It's always been Christopher Daniels. Hasn't it?
We need a Fallen Angels list every Friday.
I honestly don't know what Regal was doing.
Poisoning the well.
Yeah, other than that.
No, Regal does not get shit on or brought up enough for how much he fucked over that company.
He was probably in the ring at 2 p.m. every Wednesday looking to hold a seminar, and nobody came.
What happened?
Probably roll around and do free squats.
Do you remember that story that Punk got into it with him? That Punk got into it with Regal? That he called him some kind of blood sucking. You know,
They
you're
thought he was Paul Stooge.
yeah.
which he is.
He's a Paul Stooge. He called him. Which hey, you know, they had that Thanksgiving talk. So water under the bridge. You know, he just only months earlier was calling him a stooge. You're a stooge to Paul. You're weird, wild. What a 6 years. What a crazy, fun 6 years. See, Tony brought wrestling back. Thank you, Tony. Okay, let's jump into Thunder in Paradise. Chapter 45. Page 225. The 45th chapter of a 300-page book. He's in the WWF and WWF. Producers of Baywatch, Doug Schwartz and Greg Bonin. They want him to star in a TV pilot, Thunder in Paradise, about 2 ex-Navy SEALs. He calls it Mission Impossible on the water. I remember watching this show or like seeing it every now and then when you're flipping through, you know, back in the day. It was around. They re-air I'm guessing the 2-part pilot, the 2-part like a TV movie pilot almost. I'm guessing.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And so,
and then what did it get? 1 season or 2?
So the boats, I think it got 2. I didn't look it up, but so I was under the impression, my memory, I couldn't remember. I thought his name was Thunder. His name is Hurricane. The boat's name is Thunder?
Yeah.
Who cares about the boat? Shouldn't his name be Thunder? Name the boat Hurricane. It's on the water. Why is his name Hurricane?
Well, it's Knight Rider. It's named after the car, right?
Yep.
We'll call okay. Well then,
Okay.
well then name it Hurricane.
The car was sentient.
Is it just a boat, or has it got like guns and stuff?
Does Thunder do anything, or is it just a regular old boat?
I think of it like the Millennium Falcon. It's just like an old, reliable boat that gets Terry around places, gets the hurricane around.
The Hurricane. That's too. Yeah. Bob Dylan wrote a song about that character. It was a good one.
What would Hulk think about him?
The real Hurricane. He must have done something. Why was he there? I looked into that case myself. I did my own research, and there were witnesses. He had co-stars Chris Lemmon, Jack Lemmon's son. Oof. Dad, I got a pilot. You're not gonna watch it? Carol Alt.
Chris Lemon.
Yeah, Jack Lemmon's
Carol
son.
Alt was the woman,
Yeah.
famously, that Fred Norris said was not a supermodel, and they had a big argument on the Stern Show about it.
Oh.
So she was known. She had a name. Okay. 90s models.
So he says it didn't get picked up. It's just sitting there, and he forgets about it, he claims. And then Reicher Entertainment, the company that had produced Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, said they wanted to make it into a series and do it as a syndication deal. And so he says, a year and a half after we did the pilot, and he's got the steroid investigation hanging over his head, he's left the World Wrestling Federation. And he shoots the series. That's when he shoots the series. And he wasn't just the star of the show. He's also the executive producer. He says, I held that position before, but all it meant was an extra $10,000 in my paycheck. But this time, it wasn't just a title. Hoke says, quote, I was really in the trenches. And what does that mean? Well, it means making sure he was getting good deals on honey wagons. He keeps calling he calls them honey wagons throughout the book whenever he references the, what do you call them? I guess you can call them. They're usually called what? You go in, I want to say RVs, but nobody calls them RVs either.
Winnebago?
Yeah, what do they call them? The little ones for the stars.
Camper?
I've never heard. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to type it in.
I've never heard the phrase honey wagon, but I'm looking at it.
Honey wagons.
It's a vacuum truck.
Oh, he's talking. He's talking about not even that. He's
Oh,
talking
it's
about
for
yeah,
it's for sucking
yeah.
up the shit. Yeah, okay.
But then you see the doors on these other like that's where so they'll do makeup in there and all that. Okay, yep. Look, Hollywood Honey Wedding.
Oh, they're called that.
I thought
Okay.
this whole
Wait, no,
time.
no,
I
no.
guess
Are you sure?
we're
You don't think those are just
yeah production vehicles, makeup and
bathrooms?
wardrobe, 4-room
Okay.
production, 6-room. Um. This whole time, I thought. See, look at me. We're the rubes.
Yeah,
I thought he was
you're
talking
right.
about the little, like, the little. We went into Bruce's, star, whatever they call it. I'm blanking. I'm completely
Trailer.
trailer. Yes, finally,
They're just
we went to
smaller
Bruce's
trailers.
trailer,
If you don't
and I
have
was
big
like,
stars, you have
yeah,
a
I
honey
thought,
wagon.
yeah. So he's looking at the Hulk
Honey
Hogan
wagon.
himself is looking to get good deals on honey wagons, catering, and lighting equipment.
You
like, my
think he's really
He gets,
comparing
he gets
prices?
to recoup the savings.
I know.
That goes straight into his
Like,
paycheck.
Terry's the line producer. They weren't going to hire one. They've got Terry. If I could stay on budget, I would make money.
Right.
If I brought the wrong stunt people and shot too much film, Terry, if I shot too much film, it had a direct effect on my income. So now he's like, oh, I'm spending all this time on the budget. I'm not having any fun. So then he goes, I did all the music for the show with Jimmy Hart. We're going to get a little peek-see into the creative process again of Hogan.
It says series music by John DeAndrea and Corey Lirios. All 22 episodes.
Oof. Well,
Maybe it was a Writers Guild thing. They just wouldn't give Terry credit.
yeah. He's telling that to Jimmy. It's a writer's thing. Or so what it is, like the composers, whatever they've got, Jimmy had been a member of the Gentrys, the group that came out with hit records like "Keep on Dancing" and "Cinnamon Girl" when he was still in high school. And then he goes, then he became a wrestling manager. I met him back in Tennessee in 1977. Just once you know it, he also ended up with a small acting part as a lounge band leader. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good role.
Like a Paul Schaefer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
prefer
do need to
lounge
hear
with-
Jimmy Hart singing "Cinnamon Girl." By the way, Wilson,
I
because
do.
it is a cover of Neil Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't come out with that hit. Because I was under the impression that Neil Young did.
Yes, and I don't think that was it. "Keep on Dancing" was a hit, but "Cinnamon Girl" I don't think was a big hit for them.
Well,
No.
I listened to that entire Hulk album for this next chapter after whenever did we already cover that one yet? Let's see here. So, he's keeping an eye on the budget in Hawaii. It comes a call in the state of Hawaii. The Magnum, what was it? Magnum PI. They're not filming there anymore, and so I would definitely think not. By 1996, that show was not even on the radar in the mid 90s, was it? When did it end? In the early 90s, possibly.
Magnum PU.
88 was the last year, so
Okay, I would say
Hawaii's
Hawaii's been desperate.
begging.
Yeah, they're begging. They are. The Hawaiian government was willing to bend over backward for us. They offered to pick up some of the production costs. They even offered me a liquor license so I could open my own club there. Okay.
What sort of shady backdoor, like...
Hey,
So
we know how he got his first 2 cars. He's used
That's
to
right.
this.
yes. So you're thinking, man, all right, he's watching his P's and Q's on the budget here, So this seems like a no-brainer. Well, he told his wife, if we go, we'd have to move to Hawaii, and I was going to have to work 14 or 16-hour days and never go to the beach. So I didn't want to take the show to Hawaii. I just stayed in Florida. Okay. So he says, and I could not find this because I don't know, it was a TV movie. It probably, it aired, whatever. I could not find any real ratings for.
No, but all still, he's just talking about a regional rating.
Yes, it did a staggering number in New York. The rating was he says, like a 9.1 share. All of a sudden, he's getting granular. He's like,
All those old MSG fans turned
yeah.
on TBS. 9% of New York City.
Vince McMahon and I weren't on the best terms, but Vince sends a fax to Terry's house.
Congratulations.
I tried to really parse. He calls him okay. I tried to really parse this out. I could not make heads or tail of what McMahon was trying to say here, which it kind of made me think maybe Vince is. Well, I know Vince is a dumb guy. Well, here's the facts. Well, congratulations, monster. It looks like you really are the thunder in paradise. That's
the book.
But even then, so he probably also assumes he didn't watch it. He assumes that he's Thunder, but Monster. Hogan brings that up again. That Vince is the only person. That's his name for Hogan. Monster.
R.J. Hurricane Spencer.
Yeah. What is it? Rudolph or Randolph?
Yeah.
Um,
Randolph J. Spencer.
Randy Hurricane Spencer. So he says Thunder in Paradise is doing well, but it's a syndicated show, and they're in syndication, so it's just wherever, whenever. And they're watching our budget, he says. Well, guess what? Now he's running into a problem called nepotism. And I really thought, because I kind of looked into the two guys, the Baywatch guys, Doug Schwartz and Bonin, I thought he's going to bring up that Doug Schwartz is the nephew of the guy that created Gilligan's Island. Like, this guy thinks he knows everything.
What was his name? Sherwood?
Doug Schwartz.
Oh, no. But the guy who made Gilligan's Island.
Oh, I have no idea. Something okay. Schwartz. Something Schwartz. What was Brian's uncle's name? Howard? Try Howard. Try Howard Schwartz.
It was Sherwood Schwartz.
Mm.
I just remember. I think he did a bunch of those 60s shows.
Do we have Uncle Howard in the bracket?
Now, that's Brian's thinking, why couldn't my uncle, he just wrote a Simpsons episode, why didn't he create a goddamn show and I could have gotten a writer's gig then?
Hey, he did Taxi.
Oh, yeah, he did write Taxi. My partner, Doug Schwartz, was one of the producers. His nephew, this is so funny coming from Hulk Hogan. His nephew, Michael Burke, was another producer. And his brother-in-law, Greg Bonin, was a lifeguard before he got involved with Baywatch. And he'd rather have been back on the beach in L.A., but he was also a producer and a director. I think he directed episodes, too. At least at Baywatch. So Hogan just a couple paragraphs ago was like, I don't want to work. I want to be on the beach. And then he's looking at his producer. They were all one big family. So then Doug Schwartz is making deals. No one spoke up and questioned it. They just went along with it. He doesn't provide any details. I have no idea what he's talking about, why he thinks it's going. This becomes another Hogan thing where it's simultaneously very successful, but also it's not. And he spends time gassing it up and then also going, well, by the way, if it was bad, that's not my fault. And just so you know, there were outside forces. So he was saying they're hiring guys from LA instead of hiring local. I guess he means actors, maybe?
Experience.
Yeah. What would have been cheaper from LA to Hawaii, maybe, then? I don't know. But especially if they're picking up production costs. I was, but then he's like, I'm just he's overworked. I wasn't just the executive producer, I was also the star. And he says, he was thin in the show, because he didn't have time to train. I lost weight. I looked like, I think he misspelled Spencer here. Hurricane Spencer with an S at the, instead of a C.
Yeah.
Or maybe just Michael Jan was like, I don't care, whatever. The Navy SEAL character I played. I don't know if you guys got pictures, but some of the pictures in this book have captions and some are just a picture, they have no caption. This one does, and it's from the set. And this is Jamming with Jimmy Hart, parentheses, third left. And the picture...
see, mine says fourth left.
Interesting. Because, well, here's my problem. So here, you got a guy in sunglasses. Okay,
Yeah, I was going to say fourth isn't right at all.
No, it's third left. But I don't know who would need that caption. I know, even if you didn't know who Jimmy Hart is, there's three gentlemen. They're like black, like calypso musicians. Hulk
Yes.
Hogan himself.
Guy
And
playing
then
the congas.
And then a guy, yeah. And then there's one guy with a mullet and a jacket with a keyboard lapels. I think. So he says, I was making money, but it wasn't wrestling money. His agent sucks. He's not making any money on this.
His agent is his friend from Baltimore, remember?
That's right.
I thought part of it was like they gave
a
him
fan.
Thunder in Paradise as like a vanity thing as part of the Turner contracts.
No, I just looked it up. I didn't know this history either. It was syndicated in '94, canceled after a season, and then TNT bought it and ran it.
Got it. Okay.
That's why, because I remembered seeing it on TNT, and I'm like, why is he calling it a syndicated show? But that's
Okay. My mistake.
That's why Hawk knew the New York number, because it was in syndication. I take it back.
I was starting to miss the rush that he'd gotten from the crowd. Fate took a hand. It's fate. Oh man, this story. God damn, this story. Okay. So, he says, ever since the day they started, they filmed Thunder in Paradise on Soundstage A at MGM Studio in Disney World. It was funny. This was funny. They had a backstage studio tour. 3,000 people an hour went through a glass walkway, and they would watch all the TV programs that were being shot there. Like they're a zoo. Like it's a zoo. Sometime after we started, Ted Turner's World Championship Wrestling started shooting their syndicated wrestling show next door to us on Soundstage B. And actually, the way it was set up, the lettering was backwards. So the tour started with Soundstage B before Soundstage A. You need to know all these weird details to make any of this make sense. So, to whet their appetites, the 3,000 people an hour, the tour guide would say, hey, come backstage and watch Hulk Hogan film his new show. Naturally, everyone's thinking, oh, it's a wrestling show. It didn't occur to these people that he'd be actually making Thunder in Paradise, a show they were unaware of. So, they walk past Soundstage B. This is the first stop. They've already heard the tour guide say, you're going to see Hulk Hogan filming. They see Ric Flair. They see Sting and Arn Anderson. And quote, all these wrestlers. But they didn't see me.
It's another Hogan list, and that's...
Yeah. I like Arn made the list. Ric Flair, Sting, Arn.
Hey, Arn's got those 2 wins over him. He knows.
I was going to say, Hogan was very generous with Arn.
Arn's a good old boy. So they would ask the tour guide, All in unison. Where's Hulk Hogan?
He's filming Thunder in Paradise.
As you
sounds
saw
good.
it's 10 minutes ago.
Well, he goes to it again. So 3,000 people an hour were coming through the place asking for Hulk Hogan. It drove the tour guides nuts. I guess they were committed to bringing up Hulk Hogan. Not one person said, "You know what? I'm annoyed by this. I'm not even going to say Hulk Hogan anymore." So they move on to Soundstage Age. Then they saw me with a machine gun, my Navy SEAL coat, Chris Lemon and Carol Alt, and all 3,000 people go, "Oh, now we get it. Thunder in Paradise." But really, we want to see him wrestle.
Oh, Thunder is the name of the boat.
Yeah. And he hits it. This is 2 times in a row. So 3,000 visitors. So 3,000 an hour. We're hounding the people from the Turner organization. Now they're calling in the Turner. Asking where was I? The next thing I knew, Ric Flair came nosing around while I was eating lunch with my partners, Doug Schwartz and Greg Bonin. I love this next sentence. We were talking about some overseas TV deals we had going. And Ric Flair said, "Hey, Hulk, man, you want to dance with the Nature Boy? You want to..." I don't know if this really happened
Yeah, you
or
can't
not.
do a Minnesota that well. You got to do the Minnesota lisp.
Let's see. Oof,
It's tough.
hold on.
You
Can't
sounded
even-
like the Iron Claw Flair.
Yeah. This. What is something Ric Flair says like? Oh, does he say like "oh gosh"? Oh gosh, oh God. Doesn't he say "oh God"?
By God.
God.
Ah, God.
Oh
That's how he
God.
says it.
Hey Hulk, man, you want to dance with the Nature Boy? You want to make some money? Just picturing Terry peeking up over his sandwich, looking at Ric Flair. They're talking overseas TV deals. Ric Flair's acting like a pro wrestler. It's embarrassing.
Oh my God! I think was Flair's birthday recently. I don't know if it was a recent video. February 25th. Okay, so it was a month old, but it was like him dancing on his birthday.
Oh boy.
I almost sent it to you. It was so sad. Nobody was even laughing, and he's just and he was
Oh,
dancing to a song that's not really danceable, so it was even more odd. But I digress.
Hogan says, "What are you talking about, Rick?"
All the more reason to get down to Florida.
Yes.
Yes.
So Ric Flair says he's
So
talking.
Wilson can kill Ric Flair drinking.
Yeah. If anybody can do it. Let's see. I'm talking about. He says he's talking about WCW. We're gonna beat Vince McMahon's ass. Hogan says, "I'll think about it, maybe someday." But then he adds, because this is 2003, I didn't think anybody could beat Vince's ass.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Eric Bischoff, the executive vice president of WCW, started talking to me. And this is a thing where Hogan does the, a grown man is like idolizing him. He was a Minnesota boy. He was a fan of Hulk Hogan. His family was in the meat business. Eric was going door to door selling frozen meat to people.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, that's a new one for me.
He and his wife were sleeping on a box spring on the floor, and Eric is dreaming of meeting Hulk Hogan. Because if I could meet Hulk Hogan, he told me later, I could tell him about my idea, a new sandwich called the Hulk Hoagie. I'd figured it would make millions.
What is this story? I've never heard this before. What the fuck is he talking about?
Eric Bischoff was a gigantic Hulkamaniac from Minnesota.
I get
And
it.
his dream was to meet Hulk Hogan. I don't understand what you're saying. He had an idea because he wants
don't-
to meet Hulk Hogan and tell him about the Hulk Hoagie. It's a prepackaged hoagie with his likeness.
I don't think Bischoff was a fan. He was just selling the ninja shit.
No.
He wanted to.
Wrong. Frozen meat. He came from a meat family. That's right here. The meat business. If you go to why do you think he's in Montana? Right? They probably got a great Ted's Montana there.
He's
And he
in
knows all the
Wyoming.
meats. He knows all the cuts. Oh, Wyoming. Damn it. Well, I'm sure he still knows all the cuts. Strip. Ribeye. He's like, you ever seen Scrooged? And the dad brings home the cuts of meat for Christmas?
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, that's Eric's childhood. He's getting a lamb chop for Christmas.
Well, Johnny Boy Soprano used to bring home the cuts of beef for the family,
Yes.
remember?
Yeah, and it would get the wife turned up.
Yes.
So he never did meet me while I was up there, but he became an announcer there, and he says Eric was a good-looking guy who had a cadence to his voice that sounded good on TV.
That's right, Terry.
And then I think this is I think this is a little bit of like Hogan has what a lot of guys have, that is like, by the way, just so you know, he's legit. He also has some WWE connection because he's like, oh, but he also auditioned for WWF, but you know, Bischoff didn't get it because he says he was bad at the time. Okay.
Well, I found an interview from 2021,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, so the question is, on me, Gene Okerlund, being the right guy to do the first heel interview with. Quote, Gene was the right person to do it with, Hogan said, and I tried to stick with what I believed to be the truth. Years before, Eric Bischoff had tried to get me to do a Hulk Hoagie sandwich. When I said Eric would still be selling meat out of a truck in Minnesota, does he say that in the promo? I wonder? Because that's kind of what he's referencing.
Do you think he invented that? Or maybe Eric just said, my dad sold meat.
Yeah, but he says, when I said Eric would still be selling meat out of a truck in Minnesota, that was true. Eric thought me doing frozen sandwiches, they were going to be frozen, was going to be his claim
There's
to
no
financial
way.
freedom.
Why would you sell frozen sandwiches? They can be refrigerator. Is he skimping on like the preservatives? And he's like, we got to freeze these bad boys. They've got the shelf life is poor.
Oh, it would be like a frozen burrito type situation.
I'm
Can you
again thinking of
imagine,
steakums.
Yeah, but if it's a hoagie, it's got lettuce in there and shit,
True.
and tomato. Imagine cracking open a frozen hoagie. Let me nuke this. Yum.
Aren't
I
there
love
Hogan
Transcendent.
burgers?
You take it from
Yeah.
the restaurant, you bring it home, you put it in the oven.
Yes. It is
Yeah,
so.
I mean-
it's transcendental and it's juicy.
We kind of had it. Where's it?
Don't you love to take a cold Italian sub and
at that thing?
Just off the
Hulkster
freezer burn.
cheeseburger? There you go. The Hulkster cheeseburger.
Would you eat that?
No.
In the microwave. That's got to be terrible.
What stinks is that he probably just he landed on hoagie just because he's like, Hulk, what sandwiches have H? Because it can't be like the Hulk Reuben.
Okay. All right.
So then Hulk Hogan, Hulk Hoagie.
Idiot.
Then it's like, Eric, think that out. Think of that out. Think about putting that. You eat it.
I mean, now if you Google
Bob.
Eric Bischoff meat, you're just going to get the fact that he's on the carnivore diet.
That's from his dad. How long did his dad? Is his dad still alive? Because his dad was probably on it too. Because it's the business. Even during the steroid controversy. Okay, so what's he saying here? Just Eric believed in him, I guess. And then he goes, and he I love this. This is to just, I guess, maybe poke at something Ric Flair said about bringing him over. And Eric was just as instrumental as Ric Flair, if not more so, in getting me to think about joining WCW. There was a guy named Keith Samples. seems made up, but okay. From Reicher Entertainment, Keith Samples.
That'd be a great beat maker.
Yes.
Goose samples.
Look, Terry, we want Thunder in Paradise to keep going, but we need to break up this little family business. Keith didn't like some of the deals that were being made. He wants to bring in a producer from RoboCop. That's all the information Hogan gives. And don't make any more new deals. I said, fine with me. Then this is a quote. Hogan says, quote, we'll send Michael Burke and Greg Bonin back to L.A. I'll just run the show with Doug Schwartz, and I promise you, we won't make any more deals until the guy from RoboCop shows up. The guy from RoboCop.
From RoboCop.
We have Keith Samples, Michael Burke, Greg Bonin, Doug Schwartz, and the guy from RoboCop. Who is this guy? Can we look up the producers of RoboCop and guess?
Yeah.
Money still kept getting spent on questionable stuff. What the?
It was probably RoboCop 3. You know what I mean?
True. So even after going through all that, where he's like, "All right, we're gonna get this all figured out," even after Hulk's promise, money still kept getting spent on questionable stuff. So Keith says to Hogan, "You can keep going with Thunder in Paradise if you take full responsibility." And Hogan says, I'd had enough. I just wanted to go home. He was beat up, burned out, and tired of Hollywood in Florida.
Yeah, Hollywood, Florida.
Yes.
What an idiot.
So just to be clear, they didn't get canceled. Because guess what? Hogan says to Keith Samples of Reicher Entertainment, the hell with it. Pull the plug. I don't care. So the show was canceled. So all you Thunder in Paradise, Hogan did it.
Took his ball and went home.
Yeah.
Did all the music.
Had done all that. He was getting the honey wagons, the catering, the lighting equipment. He's looking at the lighting equipment. He's like, is this where he talks about, didn't we miss that where he's like, all of a sudden, it cost $1,000 for or was that it later?
Ooh, I don't remember.
Where is it? Because he does go into all of a sudden these deals we made. Or was that for the movie? When he did the No Holds Barred, was that when he was going all of a sudden?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
Maybe we'll get to it.
Can we take 1 minute?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay.
So he cancels Thunder in Paradise. All of a sudden, I had these Turner people all over me asking me to get involved with WCW. So he meets with Ted Turner and a guy named Bill Shaw. He decided to go with WCW. He's going back into wrestling. What could possibly go wrong? Chapter 46, Steroids, the Trial. So he says, everybody's in Uniondale, New York. It's July 1994. And he says nobody cared. Everybody was waiting for the main event. Finally, Hulk Hogan showed up. And that's when everybody was, everyone goes bonkers when he shows up. News trucks, reporters, people fighting for ringside seats in the courtroom. I had a 3-piece suit on. This is okay. If you guys know anything about why he includes this, let me know if it was he's addressing something. I had a 3-piece suit on, but I was also wearing a black bandana. I wasn't trying to make a statement. The bandana was just part of me.
Because, he just didn't want to be bald in court. He's vain.
You think somebody made a comment about it and he just wants to...
people were saying, that was disrespectful to the court.
Yeah,
this goes in my theory.
Federal court and you're wearing a hat. They're not gonna.
Didn't he wear a black bandana also in the Gawker thing?
Yeah,
and he had
so
to get
just
special dispensation for that. He had to ask the judge.
He's really insecure about that hole in his hat. That's wild.
I know you have like thousands of hours of you on tape bald. You're not.
He's so uncomfortable about it. That's crazy. But
Curse.
also lends to when he says it's just a part of me. The hair is attached to the bandana.
Okay, all right.
Nobody.
Nick.
By the way, this is one of those. Don't tell the news I was mad. Nobody in the press said I looked nervous, but I was. I didn't know if they were going to take what I said and decide Vince was guilty, even if he really wasn't. He doesn't know what the jury's going to think. They may have watched wrestling. The jury might have watched wrestling. Decided that Vince was a rich guy who didn't deserve a break. You never know. If they were watching the product at that time, would the takeaway be Vince is a rich guy?
Well, you would just assume that, anyways. I mean, you know.
Wouldn't you
people
be
doing
like, this
jury
announcer, I'm only watched the wrestling product, they go, this announcer's on trial.
Well, they would have to disclose at the trial that he is indeed the owner. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
And listen, if I'm this is Southern District of New York, so some schmuck from Crown Heights, Brooklyn, Vince is a big deal. Fuck him. Right?
They should have gotten some people from. Could they pull from Georgia for the jury pool? People that were upset about Black Tuesday, or what it was called.
yeah, Ole managed to establish residency, and
Ole's got a fake mustache over his beard, trying to get on the jury. Guilty! He just shouts it immediately.
Hogan get a shipment of steroids at the what was the arena in Atlanta? The Omni.
what the fuck isn't Linda on trial either?
When Hulk says no, he's like, "You lie."
I called him Sterling Golden.
He's nudging the guy next to him.
Fired his ass too.
It could have been me. He says that he thinks he could have been on trial. Oh no. Vince McMahon. Okay, so they asked, the district attorney asked me, "Does Vince McMahon ever sell you steroids?" I said no. Did Vince McMahon ever inject you with steroids? I said no. At that point, the courtroom just came apart. Order! Order!
Didn't happen.
He goes, they had hoped I would say Vince was a drug dealer. I just told the truth. The government's case against Vince went down the drain. So he goes, and then he's thinking, man, if they missed nailing Vince, maybe they're going to nail me. What if they try to say that I'm distributing steroids, ruin my life for another 3 or 4 years or longer? But when the feds thought about it, they realized they had no case. Thank God it didn't continue beyond that, comma, brother, comma. Because then it could have become a witch hunt.
Brother.
I forgot about this sentence. Okay. Thank God the steroid trial didn't continue beyond that, brother, because it then could have become a witch hunt and there was no telling where it might end. Where else could it go? To the White House?
He's kind of admitting he's got his own skeletons in his closet.
He's I
mean,
God.
it's the whole organization.
Or the feds sniffing around my house. Vince said something that surprised Hulk Hogan. He said he was upset that Hogan didn't tell the truth. I thought I had told the truth.
Wait.
And then he says it wasn't until years later that Vince told me he was talking about my appearance on Arsenio. And that's the end of the chapter.
Wow.
Yeah, Hogan. So yeah, Hulk Hogan said whatever he said. Vince still was like, no, he lied. Whatever, even anything, he lied. Hulk's like, what the fuck? And then Vince later goes, I was talking about when you lied about steroids on Arsenio, and Hogan just accepts this. Oh. Chapter 47, Ted Turner's Traveling World Championship Wrestling Show. Ted Turner's Traveling World Championship Wrestling Show.
Wrestling show.
TTT WCWS. Okay. WCW knew that if they wanted to compete with Vince McMahon was to sign Hulk Hogan. It's 94, July 17th, 3 days after he testified in court. 5 days before Vince is acquitted. It's Orlando, Florida. Ric Flair. Oh, he's facing Ric Flair for the WCW heavyweight title at Bash at the Beach. He's feeling good. Quote, I felt cleansed. Let's see. To promote Hulk Hogan joining WCW, they're at Disney World, where he adds, I filmed Thunder in Paradise. We know. They had a red and yellow ticker tape parade. I sat in my red and yellow Viper. A couple hundred people showed up, but it was shot in such a way that it looked more like a couple thousand people.
You know, he was famously booed at this thing.
Oh, yeah?
Was he really?
Uh-huh.
So a couple hundred people showed up, and like people showed up just to boo him.
I know, because now I'm thinking, were they people in the park who hated Hogan?
Maybe they thought it was going to be a real parade, and when they saw that it was a fake parade, they booed.
Maybe.
This shit's fake! I had...
You're a phony.
This parade's phony. This guy...
I saw you in Arsenio. Boo.
You lied! I had my plants in the audience screaming how great Hulk Hogan was while they were throwing confetti. It was all playing the stage, but looked good on TV. I'm sorry. Now, the real Ric Flair is a toned-down version of Ric Flair.
I don't know.
Wow.
And then he just says, but he is, by the way, doing all the stuff he says. So I guess I don't know what that means. He thinks about wrestling 24 hours a day, and that's what Hulk likes. So he's at Bash of the Beach. As soon as he stepped into the ring, the crowd cheered him so hard the building shook. And when I beat Ric Flair for the title, the first of 6 I'd win in WCW, and that's when I think I noticed Hogan always counts the world titles. He'll mention what number it is. That's important to him. The reaction was, all right. I wrote, he's a mark. He keeps counting the title. The first of 6 I'd win in WCW. The reaction was deafening.
Especially because he's probably counting the one where Sting lays down for him at Halloween Havoc 99. You think he's really proud of that one?
They're putting the title on him. It's acknowledgement. It's validation. Shaquille O'Neal is a good friend of mine.
This is such a stupid paragraph.
Shaq was sitting ringside, his eyes as big as saucers. When I finished Rick off...
Yeah, like what's he trying to say? That he thought it was real?
All of a sudden, Shaq jumped into the ring, gave me the belt, and held my hand up. It was awesome, brother. Yeah, I wrote, this is like when Brett talks about grown men in the audience, they're crying, they're pointing at him. He's like, I think it's real. So, Shaq, his eyes are wide. So I had set myself up to make a lot of money with my new employer. He adds in Hulkamania, he pulled in several $1 million a year. And now in WCW, he's going to make millions more. And I wrote, cool.
I know. I don't know.
Just throws that in there.
Kind of tacky, isn't it?
That's very tacky.
I'm pretty sure after reading this book that Michael Jane was straight up just dictating like a interview, him just talking and recording it.
I mean, I'm thinking of Mick. Mick talked about wanting 178 a year or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he wasn't talking about how much he was making when he wrote the book. You know what I mean? In the top years. Because that's, who's putting their network out there?
Yeah. Well, his
Go
legal
shoot.
counsel, Henry Holmes, of the Murder House. And that's for any
Not the Jesus Peter.
um, Devil in the what was that book everybody's read? Devil in the White City. Um,
So that's H.H.
H. Holmes, yes. My legal
Brother.
counsel convinced WCW that I should receive more than half of the gross merchandising revenues from Hulk Hogan products. And then with WCW, he'd share a percentage of the gross revenue from all other WCW merchandise after expenses. It's a hell of a deal. And he says, I also got a hell of a deal for the pay-per-views. $700,000 minimum each time I laced up my boots.
Cool.
Everybody's saying, "Oh my lord, you've made a mistake leaving WWF," but I got lucky. I washed up on the beach in Shangri-La, and it was a dream deal. There he's coming back in. I'll pause. Oh, he's got food. Larry's got food. All you missed was Hogan talking about what a great deal he had. The details of it, and it's like
He's not wrong.
It was a dream deal. He's in Shangri-La.
it all
Speaking of Shangri-La, yes. Jesse Ventura, Chapter 48. So when someone comes into a company, usually you want the announcer to make them look good as they come in. Help them make a splash, as Hogan says here. One of the company announcers in WCW at the time was his old pal, he says, Jesse the Body Ventura. Hogan says that a lot. Ric Flair was my old pal. Does that mean he does not like you?
No, he's got a lot of reverence for Flair.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Because
buddies.
I mean, this
Flair
is
did
2003.
business.
Okay, there you go. Okay, fair enough. So he just says old pal. All right. He was Jesse, I assume. Well, maybe the old pal is him saying this dickhead.
Yeah.
I watched him talk about me on television. And he says that this is what Jesse was saying, quote, Hulk Hogan makes nothing but cheap, low-budget movies, not like Predator, the major motion picture I made with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, I wanted to Schwarzenegger. Hogan is funny because he kind of does. To be fair, Predator was a major motion picture, and Jesse did have a great part in that. But it's just not good business to say things like that.
So petty.
So Hogan calls Eric Bischoff. Listen, brother, I'm not interested in coming over if you're going to stick a knife in my back before I get there. I was like, geez. here's some commentary that's a little disparaging. You know, Jesse's long-running feud with him on commentary, and he's going, knock that shit off. Eric tells Jesse to cool it. Jesse gets pissed off. And then Hogan says that from there it's a downhill slide. Jesse's showing up to all the TV events, and the other announcers are wearing suits and ties, but Jesse's, he'd be asleep in the corner, looking like he was hung over or something. What is that? What is Hogan doing right now?
Character assassination.
Yeah. Eric Bischoff didn't know what was going on. He was worried. Hell, we were all worried. Oh, they're going to have to intervene here. A little intervention for Jesse. He says Jesse was a real good announcer. You know what this is? This is like the Sting thing that would later happen. Jesse's a good announcer, but he'd go a long time without shaving. I thought he looked like hell. Looked like he'd stopped taking care of himself. That's just bad for business. Well, eventually he just got himself fired. I had nothing to do with that, but he blamed me for it. It's like, I wrote, "Oh, I just complained frequently and kept telling people something wrong with this guy. He looks like shit. Might be drunk, not on drugs or something." And this
Very weird.
reminded Hogan of what the wrestlers had told of him about Jesse back in Minnesota. And he's going back. Ah, yeah, the AWA. He was always nice to me there, at least to my face. Jim Brunzell and Greg Gagne told me how jealous Jesse was of me. Jesse's talking trash. As soon as Hogan's back is turned.
Greg is such a putz.
Yeah, Greg's stirring up shit.
You should come by and see my sister Kathy.
Hogan.
Not on my watch.
She looks like me, but she's got a great rack, according to Larry Nelson.
Larry's weird enough that he was looking at Greg, picturing the nice rack, and going, do I like it? Hogan's doing, I can't believe that. No way. Jesse was such a man's man. Navy SEAL, Vietnam vet. He says that he would ask Jesse for details about Vietnam, and Jesse would say, "Sorry, national security breach. Can't do it."
Or
Don't have
something like that, Hogan says.
I guess I just didn't have the security clearance. I don't know. Can you imagine Jesse looking at Hogan with a smile creeping up on his face and going, "I can't tell you anything. Security, top secret."
Do you
Hogan's-
know what happened at the Gulf of Tonkin?
Hogan's mind is stirring.
Oh,
Whoa.
Frogman Terry.
All I'll say, have you ever seen the back of a man's eyes? What?
You know, my wife's name is Terry. It's kind of funny.
We got to put Terry in. Hold on, I'm gonna do this before I forget. Terry's going in the tournament. Terry and her slow internet. Gotta remember that.
Forgot about that.
Terry Ventura.
Maybe that's why mine's slow. All my
They're listening.
Democratic Socialist emails.
Yeah. Where am I here? Okay. So then he goes to. He says that he heard then that Jesse wouldn't lose a match to anybody. Then he goes to New York, and guys again were telling him that Jesse's jealous. Just didn't believe it. Then Jesse got a radio show in Minneapolis. Week after week, he's just tearing Hulk down. I used to get calls from people in Minnesota telling me how much Jesse hated me. Is this Greg again? Hey, you hear this?
Kathy's still asking about you.
Quote, I can only think of one thing I ever did to make him feel this way. What do you think that is? What do you think he's going to say? The one thing. There's only one thing you think. Why would Jesse Ventura be pissed off with him?
Jealous.
Well, if you guessed snitching him out to Vince McMahon, you'd be wrong. That never comes up. It's when he was the mayor of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Terry was there for a boat show with his buddy, Erwin Jacobs. Okay? Jesse finds out he's in town. He wants Hogan to help him with his campaign, show some support. Hogan says, well, I'm in town for Erwin, but I'll think about it. And then later, he called Jesse and said, I would love to help you, but I'm busy with stuff for Erwin, so I can't. I guess looking at boats. And then Hogan says, I guess that really pissed him off. And he's been openly against me ever since.
I don't buy any of this.
So
I don't
he says, Jesse became mayor of Brooklyn Park without my help. And then became governor of Minnesota without my help. But it didn't make him hate me any less. This is a great sentence. This is in a book. We're reading it. I see now that Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell were right. That's just that sentence, like
Yeah,
only in a wrestling
Greg
book.
Gagne and Jim Brunzell are right.
I see now, only in a wrestling book are you gonna get the sentence. I see now that Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell were right. I believe that Jesse's a bitter guy, and I feel that he's always been jealous of me and hated me. And so Hogan says, of course, I've always done better at everything than Jesse. So don't invite Jesse Ventura and Hulk Hogan to the same dinner party. Okay?
Hogan's kind of star fucking Erwin Jacobs. He's kind of a big deal.
Is
I
he?
think I looked him up too.
CEO of Genmar Holdings, founder of Cable Value Network. He owned a part of the Vikings for a while.
Oh well.
He also, because he throws out the one guy's name, the
Oh,
guy
and-
that does the restaurant and all that. He likes to throw every now and then. Yeah, he'll throw out a name like
He
that.
owns a sport fishing tour.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Sorry, Jesse, I can't help. I'm out deep sea fishing with Irwin. Sorry, Frogman. Oh wait, no, he talks about the Frogman. He's not a Frogman. Oh, what is it when they call like when it's going to get bloody wet works or something like that? Or you know what I'm talking about?
no.
I'm flummoxed right now with my not being able to pull. You know what? There's when the guys are going to do a job, it's going to be messy or something like that.
Oh, Boo Boo Face.
No, not like a job. Like no, like the Navy SEALs or so, like
Oh,
mercenaries or something like. I can't think of it. I was trying to think of stuff like Ventura could say to Hogan, and get him to be like, "What the fuck?" Chapter 49: 2 good years and 2 better ones. Well, guess what? Almost immediately, WCW was now in the major leagues. No more minor league wrestling. They used to have 1,500, maybe 2,000. Now 15,000, 20,000. Got it. Good. TV numbers were going through the roof. Hulkamania is going wild in WCW, driving it like it'd never been driven before. Oh. And he brings up having a great deal again.
Hang on.
He's
I got something here.
mhm.
October 16th, 1994, house show in Anaheim, California.
Mhm.
Headlined by Hogan Flair.
Mhm.
What was the attendance?
1,800.
1,700.
Very close, 2,400.
Okay.
In Anaheim?
Yep.
So you said
That's a
2,000.
weird town. WCW.
So 2,400.
Detroit did 3,000. That's 95. God, that's how
Ooh.
how infrequently Hogan wrestles on Cage Match. You skip years here, but no, they were not doing that big a house as Hogan.
He's pointing to the 400 extra heads. That's me, brother. You can thank me when you pocket that
They
page.
were up 300% year over year.
So he says, things are going great. He's making tons of money, tons of cash. WCW's paying for everything, travel, hotel. They even gave me a per diem, just like a movie deal, which is like, that's funny to put in there. They're just giving him pocket money.
Great.
And also he's got time now with the lesser dates. He can see his family again, even though he stayed in Florida to live a somewhat normal life. He claims he had a hard time seeing his family while making the show. all our momentum kind of it was then. So it started off hot. Larry, that's bad faith by you to look up the attendance numbers. They were
I
hot.
did,
Then
because remember, Dave will tell you
no, I know.
that Savage Flair is what heated up the territory in '95.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
those house shows did do well and drew well. And then Hogan turned heel.
incorrect. None of that happened. Their momentum just.
I'm even
leveled off.
looking at like uncensored '95, so we're almost 9 months into Hogan, and we're still only doing 5,000 attendance for Hogan the Beater.
The TV numbers are plateauing. The pay-per-views are numbers are flat, but the plateau wasn't high enough. And Hogan's thinking, how can we turn this around? How can we get these numbers up? And he came up with a quote unquote wild idea. What if I'm a bad guy? He claims he talked to Vince about this idea. Vince told Hulk, you could never be a bad guy. It just wouldn't work.
Remember, he wanted to do it at Mania 6. That's what the recent interviews have said. He wanted to be Hollywood Hulk Hogan in 1990.
There you go. So,
which, of course, his Hollywood resume at the time was that one film of No Holds Barred.
Hollywood.
And Rocky. I'm sorry, you're right. Rocky too.
He goes to Eric Bischoff. Look, brother. If I looked at these kids and I said, for years I've been telling you to train, say your prayers, and take your vitamins, but guys, I did it for the money. It would shock everybody and turn them heel. Eric liked the idea. He runs it by Ted Turner. Doesn't know how Eric made it work, but Ted Turner said, okay, give it a shot. Just leave yourself an out if it blows up in your face.
Ted knows.
That's right. Always leave yourself an out.
So we did it. It fit with something else we were doing, bringing in other people from the WWF. Let's see. He quotes Scott Hall, which that's funny just to him being like his summary of the promo. Hey, I'm from New York, and I'm coming into this minor league promotion to take it over. And guess what? My buddy's coming with me.
Now, you know what's funny about this?
Yeah.
Is, Bischoff swears that's not true. That's not the angle. The angle is, we used to be in WCW and you guys wronged us. Because...
I have to say that legally.
Yes, because Vince sued him. So it's just funny that Hulk is basically confirming Vince's side of things.
Yes.
And not the Bischoff side.
Yeah. Kevin Nash shows up. Oh my God, the fans went crazy. They were branded stars straight from Madison Square Garden. This is his thing again. New York. New York's #1, baby.
That's where the real wrestling takes place.
Yep.
That's what Hulk needs to say.
So he's talking about Bash at the Beach. Everyone knows what's going on there. Then he comes down and he says, I told my fans I'd done it all for the money. And this is the future of wrestling. We called ourselves the New World Order, the NWO. So then he says he starts calling himself Hollywood. I told them I had made 16 motion pictures, which was true.
So I like, hang on. It was Hogan's idea to turn.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no reason that they would have had the fake Sting ready to go as a backup in case Hogan didn't want to turn.
Yes.
Which is what happened.
Yes. He doesn't bring up everyone else that tells the story talks about him wiffle waffling and it being presented. Yes, and it's more presented to him. And here he's WCW. He's looking at the attendance figures. He's looking at the ratings, and he's going, kind of what is this John Cena thing? Did that spike any numbers at all, or are they still just getting the 3 million? little lower, little higher.
I
What
haven't
if we
checked the
goose?
last 2 weeks.
Dwayne's thinking, what if we goose this? Who can we turn? I told him, so he says, I told the crowd I made 16 motion pictures, which is true. Of course, I didn't mention that I only had cameos in 8 of those movies.
Does Russo like the Rock stuff?
I think he does, yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
I think Russo's got to be England, though, to get in on that. The, bootlicker amplifier grift at this point, too.
Yeah, it's funny because he's kind of the odd man out in that he and a lot of people on his thing will shit on the WWE as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it all comes down to they're just not doing it how Vince liked to do it back in the day. So,
that's funny because if you go to a YouTube video where Cornette is reviewing a WWE show,
mhm.
and he hates most of it,
Uh-huh.
there are fans that are so mad in the comments who love Jim for being anti-AEW, can't handle him being defending Alexa Bliss. Or
Yeah.
the Wyatt Six stuff is actually really good, Jim. He's wrong.
That's because, it's been established now by a lot of people that by going this way, they don't even really, it's okay to cover AEW, but it's more, if you can make the headline a little negative or negative sounding, it's going to get more engagement and more for your, whatever you're doing, YouTube, whatever you're making pennies on, to put ECW star has thoughts on AEW spot.
Mm-hmm.
To do that, and then people click, and it's Bully Ray, WWE employee, saying like, "This business, you gotta work for the." I don't want to talk about Bully.
Just tell the fans they suck cock. That's better.
But yeah, and so these it's interesting that they by the way they started. It became a whole thing. And now they're
Does Ray have a book though? Because that might be torture to me.
I don't think so.
I think Devon's got one.
Oof.
I could be wrong though.
Bully Ray's got a lot of opinions for a guy that wouldn't be anywhere if he didn't shout, "Get the tables."
Yep.
I told them, okay. Of course, I didn't mention Emily. Okay, and then he oddly brings up this wasn't the first time an invasion of bad guys had happened in a wrestling promotion. It happened in Japan too.
Fun fact. I'm reading here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Batista hated Bubba Ray Dudley so much. There's a whole chapter in his book called "Bubba Dudley is an Asshole."
Wait.
Sorry.
I know, and I'm trying to think of what, because I've only ever heard of, and then before that was it kind of made the news somewhat that Mox devoted a chapter. Is it called "Fuck Kevin Dunn"?
Yeah, something like that.
Let's look at it. It's so funny that
you don't need to get this tome out. It's okay.
Whoa, there's a chapter called Omaha, Nebraska. I don't remember that. You can't wait to read this, can you?
I will never read it.
We are reading it. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. You don't want to hear about him doing cocaine in the library?
No. I don't even think he. I'm going to say this. You ready for this? He's a high bottom addict. That's what we'd call him.
Oh.
Wow.
When you judge him.
Wow.
We would say we've spilled more than you've drank.
Oh,
wow. Damn.
But they didn't.
High bottom addict.
Nobody judges like the rooms.
Yeah. People love National Hall, even though they're the bad guys, but they didn't love me. Wait, whoa, okay, sorry, I missed this part. Here we go. Oh, yeah, because we were talking about, he goes, oh, by the way, it was happening in Japan. I don't know if Eric Bischoff was thinking of that when he came up with the idea. What do you think? Think Eric Bischoff's thinking about the Japan invasion?
He's admitted that. So
Yeah, I know that's weird for Hogan then to go. Jury's out.
Well, to be fair, I don't think Bischoff was probably saying it yet in 2002. You know what I mean? That's more of the DVD.
I thought it was even. I feel like I knew that, or was that just a fan thing? You just kind of heard it or whatever.
I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe he was open about it.
Why do I know? Okay, why don't I thinking of a Bischoff thing where he's on Observer right talking about it? Maybe that's why I think that, or maybe Dave brings it up. Sure. You know,
you watching on UWFI?
You know, he was sending. What did he send Eric Bischoff that got Jericho signed? He said he sent Bischoff the. What was the tape?
Oh, they got Jericho the job.
And what was the name of that event? God, it's some.
It wasn't the Best of the Super Juniors, was it?
No, it was something else. I think it was down in.
When Worlds Collide.
It was a AAA thing.
Yeah.
Or CML, whatever it is. Let's see. So, what I do know is that Eric Bishop would bring up a phrase in the Bible. And he's also talking about, like, you know, the Latin words on the dollar bill. He says that Kevin and Nash and Scott Hall introduced the idea of it's cool to be bad. It's cool to do dirty stuff. It's cool to go out there and make these hand signals for West Coast rap and East Coast rap and have their bandanas tied on backward. They were on the edge, brother. God. They were happening.
Okay.
This is the
Remember when Hulk started wearing FUBU or Jinko jeans in public?
Yes.
Can't. Why?
That's a part of him.
With a New York Yankees stocking cap. So the heel thing was negative. It was going against Gray. He had the thing where he's like, "Why did everybody still not like me?" He says, and he doesn't like being a bad guy. Because as soon as the cameras are off, he used to like feeling good. He likes to like, I'm Hulk Hogan, the good guy. Now he's just him. And his family is going, why aren't you in the red and yellow anymore? But they understand. We know you're not really a bad guy. It's just your job.
Here's Meltzer from 2022 replying to Eric Bischoff. You and I talked at the Peace Festival about signing Jericho based on Benoit's recommendation after seeing Jericho versus Benoit on tape.
That's what I was trying to think of, the Peace Festival.
Yeah. Two 60-plus-year-old men just arguing online.
Now I'm trying to think that I somehow saw somebody brought up, did somebody was like auctioning off a Peace Festival t-shirt. And it was quite the wrestling memorabilia thing. Maybe I just saw Dave wearing one. I don't know.
What was Meltzer? I don't know if it's come out since. I only heard a clip. Sorry to get us off track, but it's Dave. It's funny. When he's replying to the John Cena angle, and he goes, someone in the company told me that it's what I think it is, but I don't actually know what it is. And that was Dave's report. And just that, whatever you think it is actually the way it is. But Dave doesn't know what it is.
I'm going to try to speak Dave. He's saying, you know, because then he did tell Brian, I think, is my understanding, is that he said, you know what I'm talking about. He's saying, okay, say it again.
Whatever you think it is, that's probably what it is.
All right,
Dave
stop.
doesn't know what it is.
Okay, no. He's saying that first he's starting off telling Brian, you know what I'm talking about, what the deal is with WrestleMania and Dwayne and Paul. But the person said, then he switches gears. When the person said that to him, you know what's going on. Dave thought, I don't know what's going on. Now he does. That's
No.
what I think he's trying to communicate. But he says it all in one. Although he does sometimes, I remember listening back in the day, and he's done this before. He does it from time to time. He where Brian will, Dave will go, well, and Brian will go, no, I don't know, and Dave will say, well, I can't really speak on it, but if you connect the dots, or he'll say, but it's odd, and then Brian will always be flabbergasted, like, no, I don't, like,
You think
okay,
Brian's dating?
God.
yeah, I hope so.
He
I don't know.
tells people what he does.
I work in media.
Yeah, he's not embarrassed. He's on YouTube. You show him the
That's true.
YouTube clip. For $24.99.
No, just think though. Think you're the woman, and you like do some research, as we do when we're known.
There's just hours and hours.
But you
and
see him arguing with this older man who's holding a microphone on his couch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
You're
getting
canceling
another
that date.
board. Okay. Sorry, you said yes. You think that they'd cancel the date on Brian Alvarez if they saw a YouTube video of him and Dave?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
you're supposed to provide for me by this.
Especially if it's the fights. If they catch one of the disagreements, like about the DVR. If a woman found that and she was planning to go out with Brian.
Greatest for me, the greatest Brian moment was, in recent memory at least, I mean, I haven't listened in a long time, but it was when he wanted to do NXT spoilers, I think it was, and because this was a tape show, and Dave said, oh, hold on, I don't have my papers. He hadn't printed it out for himself.
Yes.
And you could hear in the background Dave trying to get to the papers and wrestling them, and then while he was gone, Brian just read the spoil, like looked it up online and then read them, and then Dave came back and started going through them, and Brian was just going,
That's good.
because he was like, is he really? And he was kind of, at first he goes, is he really doing this?
Well, and the time. Remember, he's like, the show was delayed because Dave was tweeting.
Well, that's one of his all-time great ones. Dave, this guy has 0 followers.
He's educated.
I don't know. Is it, Brian's, this is his business. He's okay if there's a YouTube video of him going, so the Wyatt Six have come out, right? And they're all looking around, and there's smoke, and there's, spooky music.
Chad Gable's been shot in the head.
Yeah. And Chad Gable is killed, murdered. There's blood. And Vinny's going, there's blood. There's blood on Raw. I couldn't believe
you
it.
do a good Vinny, too.
Yeah, I could not believe what I was watching. January 6th, 1996. WCW Nitro. That's how it always goes with those kind of reviews. So his family goes, we know you're not a bad guy. It's just your job. And Hogan's like rubbing his head. They were smarter than me. I was too close to it. Am I turning into Hollywood?
God.
So he's looking over at WWF, and they've got skits of him as an old guy with, the old Billionaire Ted sketches. The guy was saying, quote, getting old, brother, getting old.
That was before the NWO.
Way before.
I know. And then he goes, then they were turning the channel. They go, Hulk Hogan's old now? I got to find out if that's true. They click over. So it actually gave us more exposure. Backfired. So he says anytime a wrestler would put on an NWO t-shirt, they're a star. And he adds, as proof of that, my nephew Michael Bolea came in. And he was Horace Hogan. And he did real well for himself. And other guys came in too. We had the Midas touch, brother.
Scott Norton.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a former IWGP heavyweight champion, Scott Norton. Yeah.
Brian Adams.
All the stars.
Masahiro Chono.
Son of the Giant. Oh, yeah, the Giant here. Chapter 50. That's a year after WCW that he's been there. He's a year in, and he got a call. This is him going, another guy, you know. I got a call from the Chicago franchise, the Continental Basketball Association. Oh, I thought he was going to put somebody that was the guy. And he says, by the way, the Continental Basketball Association is the minor league of professional basketball. And they're going to do a celebrity basketball game, one-on-one. They wanted Hulk Hogan and Mr. T.
First of all, the picture.
What?
Hogan's flat top.
Oh, yeah. You know what's funny? Is I honestly had not recognized that was him. I didn't know who I thought it was. I just didn't even clock it. I was just like, yeah, the Giant, and then some little guy behind him. He really does look very little. Anyway, I mean, then you go, oh, no, he's quite tall. But if you just look here, yeah, it's a little guy. He brings up why the wig thing, by the way. Why did he do the wig thing? I honestly don't know why he was wearing the wig. I know, but why was he wearing the wig in the ring?
I don't know. I thought he was.
Okay, I thought maybe it was explained. It's never been explained why he was doing that. He doesn't. He says something in here, which I think is him trying to explain it.
Okay, well, I look forward to that. I don't remember what he said.
So they want Hulk Hogan and Mr. T to play one-on-one basketball at this Continental basketball game in Chicago, and he says, no problem. And before he knew it, him and Mr. T are playing half-court basketball. And Hogan said, "Let me tell you, brother, I smoked him. I humiliated him.
I wasn't getting no blowjobs for no children."
Well, then he looks up in the seats while he's just dunking on Mr. T.
No, I don't. That's got to be the worst looking basketball game ever, right? I mean,
you don't think Hogan's agile?
Move, even in 96, 95.
He's fucking doing he's spinning on him. He's just fucking.
He's doing like the dad high dribble. You know what I mean?
No. He's going between his. He's got dribble. He's posterizing him. Mr. T doesn't know what to do. He's looking for fouls. Hogan looks up in the seats. He sees one of the biggest human beings he's ever seen. I thought that was me.
No.
The guy was out of my ear. All of a sudden, okay, so he elbows. So now he's looking. This is intermission. So he's with his wife
just
Linda.
Made so many turns. You made like 6 attempts to start that sentence.
He's looking in the seats. I'm sorry. I elbowed my wife in the ribs. But I remember getting caught up on this when I first read it because I thought he was playing basketball with Mr. T. And then I miss every time that he says during intermission I'm looking in the seats because then I'm like, why is Linda on court in the? He's elbowing Linda. Look over there, Linda. You see that guy? He's got a big $sign painted on his back. All of a sudden, in the locker room, the Giant I'd seen before was standing there. He had a manager named Jimmy. I don't remember his real last name. What I called him was Jimmy Jams. This is what?
An asshole.
I don't. He had a manager named Jimmy. I don't remember his name. I called him Jimmy Jams. Hey, said Jimmy Jams. This kid wants to meet you. His name's Paul Wight, and he's a big fan of yours. The big guy's hand was trembling when they go to shake. He says, hey, you ever wrestle? Jimmy Jams said, Go ahead, do the Hulk Hogan interview. And Paul Wight does his Hulk Hogan. That's very flattering, Hogan says. It's nice to see you come out of your show, but let me think about something for a second. And he goes, right away I ran to the phone and called their bitch. Very smooth operator, Hulk Hogan. That's good. Let me think about something for a minute. He sneaks away.
Trial of dust.
Jesus Christ, you ought to see this guy, how big he is. Eric goes, okay, let's see him. So he goes, hey, Paul. And he brings him to WCW. And he introduces him to everybody. And he goes, he had Andre the Giant type hands, big fat sausage fingers, real big body. And he
fat sausage fingers.
Another little. He didn't have the 28, but Andre had 28-inch feet. The Giants were Paul Wight's were just normal size, 16 feet.
What's Hogan saying there?
I don't know. He's looked at both of them in their trunks, and he just wants you to know. Everything was big on Andre. So they put him down the power plant, WCW's wrestling school.
I love this on Wikipedia because I knew the Hogan thing was true, that he got him a deal.
Yeah.
But it says before this, White had paid $5,000 to train at Larry Sharp's Monster Factory. But due to
My
Sharp's
guy,
gout at the time, he was only minimally trained. Johnny Polo taught him.
Pretty boy, Larry Sharp. Hell yeah.
That's every wrestling training story, I think.
Gout is flaring up. I can't get there and bump with you.
Do you think Jimmy Jams brought that up to Hogan? We were having him train down with
the Monster Factory.
the monster, but
Larry's how's his gout doing?
the guy got gout.
Yeah, no, I heard.
Too many sweets, brother.
Now he didn't want to leave. You put him in wrestling school to learn, but you don't want to put him in there. It's like an oven. He's baking. Don't want to leave him in there too long. Okay. They were going to teach him how to work like a 200-pound guy instead of a 500-pound guy. So you just before they start teaching him how to work, pull him out. So then they say that he's Andre's son, because he did look a lot like Andre, but unlike Andre, he had long hair.
Listen to this story. I'm sorry
I
again.
thought Larry was saying wow to the long hair.
Sorry.
Like, Jesus, I got on Larry.
This is another crazy one. So before meeting Hogan and after the show Monster Factory, he tried to get in the WWF. He went to an autograph signing at the Rosemont.
Yeah.
You've heard this?
I think I had that. He tried.
Well,
tried
no. What happened? I'd never heard this. So he made a tape and gave it to Mike Chioda. Chioda gave it to Pat Patterson, who didn't bother watching it because he assumed Paul Wight was actually Kurgan. And only when the Giant debuted in WCW did Patterson realize his mistake.
Oh no, I'm gonna be in the hot water.
Now, if Mike Chioda, I'm just gonna throw this out. If Mike Chioda, whatever his name is, if he had gone over to Pat and said, instead of saying, I got a tape of a John handed me this tape, said take a look at it. Now if he had said a really toned blonde guy gave me this tape, do you think Pat would have watched the tape?
Come on,
I'm just saying, I think Pat dismissed it.
Just because he would make passes at the people and then play it off as a joke when they were negatively received doesn't mean you can.
I think possibly that he might have, had specific people that he was interested in bringing in. More or less.
I'm just hard to do my job.
I think the answer is Pat. Pat would have watched the tape if Mike Chioda had it.
I just know that Sylvain Grenier is probably in Miami right now, and he'll never have to work another day in his life.
And I did it my way.
You know what I keep thinking when he said? I thought that was I always put instead the Renee guy who's got the
Yeah.
other guy that's got the
Yeah.
little show where it's. I mean, it looks like. I mean, the lighting is. I complain about my lighting.
Yeah.
This is close to it. Very adds an element to it that I kind of like when you see those little clips of somebody going, "That guy was an asshole." So Andre, he didn't have long hair. Okay, we got it. He looks different than the giant or Andre. By the way, the giant looked. You know how he looked good. You know they gave him the title right. Well, Hulk beats the giant, gets his title back. I'll tell you what, brother, he looked even better after I was done beating him.
I know Hulk has WrestleMania 3 frozen in his mind, but Andre had a giant afro for like all of the 70s.
Yeah.
He's not counting that as long hair. He just says, by the way, if you've wrestled me, people are going to think you're a god. You got that?
I don't know if that happened, but
And so, chapter 51, 3 rounds with the champ. Here we go.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. George Foreman.
Yeah.
Just recently, I thought this was going to be about the Foreman story, the George Foreman girl story, but no. This is another kind of odd story that he just could, I don't know, just I guess say that he knows George Foreman, I guess. But yes, now we're going to, this is in his memory here. George Foreman and I are good friends. That's the first. But that didn't stop him from almost killing me one time. So he says he met George in the early 90s through Henry Holmes, which all of Hulk's friendships are all networked from like his agent or his lawyer or somebody, you know, on the production team. Henry was also George's lawyer. We hit it off right away. And then George asked Hulk Hogan to help him raise some money for a charity youth center that he ran in Houston. So he shows up. Hogan just goes, I show up, and he does a thing that I kind of hate when people they start, I just don't like the way this is written, quite frankly. First thing I noticed is that the place didn't have any air conditioning. And he's saying it's summer in Houston, Texas, and we all know how Hulk feels about sweating and heat, and it felt like about 1,000 degrees, and there's no air conditioning. He repeats again, I got it. The second thing, see, he's turning into Sherlock. First, he notices his body is like, it's hot in here.
This is such a stupid chapter.
The
Why
second
would he
thing
think
I
Foreman's
noticed,
gonna shoot on him.
the second thing I noticed, the boxing ring. There's a boxing ring in the youth center of George Foreman's youth center. There's a boxing ring. And he's going, oh, that's interesting.
Oh no.
And George Foreman says that he is going to box with them for the kids. And so they said that, they're going to gear up, right? They're going to put on the big padded jock, the gloves. And George is putting on the headgear for sparring. And he says, hey, George, buddy, not brother, buddy, where's my headgear? George says, you don't need any headgear. Hogan says, what do you mean? George says, I'm not going to hit you in the head. You're my friend. George says, and so Hogan goes, well, then why are you wearing? And George says, because you're wild, man. You're probably going to hit me in the head. So we get in the ring. George Foreman assumes that I guess Hulk Hogan's going to shoot on him. We got in the ring after that and started talking. To all these inner city kids. And I wrote, why does Hulk Hogan think these kids are from the inner city? I mean, it's just a charity youth center. What would make them think they're inner city kids?
It could be located in the inner city.
So,
I mean, to be fair, 2000 what, like 3-ish, 5-ish, whatever for this book. I'll let that pass.
I was so nervous I could hardly talk because he's thinking about George shooting on him now. Even though George Foreman thinks he's going to hit him in the head, probably accidentally, or he gets mad or something when he gets bopped and he like, fires back. George has assured him, "I will not hit you," but Hogan is nervous that he's going to actually get punched in the face. Then he says he figures that George is just for the hell of it going to murder my ass. And he says that he adds local newspapers are there, TV stations are there. They're all going to see me get my ass whooped. All right. You think George is slow when you watch him on TV. Yeah, I mean, comparatively to faster. I would never think, in boxing, I could totally, like, run around George Foreman. I know how slow you are. I've seen you face Muhammad Ali. You're really lumbering compared. But no matter what, I couldn't hit him. It was pissing me off, so George was right. George was right, but Hogan's getting pissed that he can't land a punch. And then finally, George, he's bit-bopping him, and he hits him with the left hook on his arm, on his shoulder. Oh, no, and the right arm up on his shoulder. And he hits him, hard enough, my whole leg went numb. It freaked me out. And then he reiterates, he hadn't hit me in the leg, but my leg had no feeling in it. And I was like, didn't this happen to somebody else we read about where they talked about, was it like Steve or somebody took a bump? And they took something on, they landed on their arm, and then their whole leg, or Al's whole leg went numb or something
Probably
like that.
Al. Yeah.
I think so. Somebody chopped him, and his whole body, like left side of his body, went numb. It wasn't him having some kind of
that happened
episode.
at Walmart. He had a stroke.
It was just from the chop. The kids who were watching us had a good laugh. I'm glad for them because I certainly wasn't laughing. And then he has a picture of George and two guys and Hulk. I'm guessing one of them's Henry Holmes, the lawyer, or maybe like somebody else. But there's no caption, and I wrote "Who is who," which is a reference to the Jimmy Hart thing. I was humoring myself. Hulk strikes me as someone who would be unsettled by George naming all his sons George.
That just makes perfect sense.
And I was giggling to myself, picturing Hulk Hogan. He's in a room with all the Georges, and they're all saying, "George, hey George, pass me the." And Hogan's just going, "Oh, yeah," making him uneasy. Hulk Rules, 1995. I came out with an album.
To cap off that chapter, I want to read this. Rest in peace, my brother in Christ. For over 40 years, George showed me nothing but love and friendship. He was the true example of what a Christian and a champion should be. He loved everyone and instantly forgave anyone, even his fiercest enemies. I will miss you, my friend. See you down the road. Only love, Hulk Hogan.
That's sweet.
Now, what did Ric Flair write with every word capitalized?
I don't know. I'm sure he's got a story too. He said I was the greatest.
Yeah. He used to come down and watch me.
I found a picture of this, of the two of them, and I was hoping to find a video, but I can't find it.
No. Yeah.
Sorry, this is an important chapter.
Yeah, it's another little one, but it is funny. It's his 1995. I came out with an album called Hulk Rules by Hulk Hogan and the Wrestling Boot Band. But actually, he says, I wrote the album back in 1992 at Wembley Stadium over in England.
sorry. It's just when you know when something's coming and you're just.
I had some quibbles with this story a little bit. Now, see, over at Wembley Stadium, it was sold out to the walls, which I'd never heard before. Sold out to the walls.
Well, there's no roof on it, so you can't pack it to the
That's
rafters.
true.
You theoretically could stack it to
That's true.
heaven.
He met a Make-A-Wish kid with cancer over in England. He had a doctor. He had a doctor and a nurse with him. A whole medical entourage. And this child.
Mr. Hogan. Gus breaking out the Cockney.
Yeah. I was trying to think, how can we relate this child to Wendy?
Yeah.
And that boy's nephew would end up being.
Now, I will say, everyone always laughs at this because they think he's talking about Wembley Stadium. He did wrestle in September '94 at Wembley Arena. Because there's both. There's the arena and the stadium.
Yeah.
So that
where they
part's
packed
true.
the walls in the arena.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, let's see what the attendance was. See if it was packed to the walls. 2,000.
You asshole! What a piece of shit!
Hey, how many does it hold? And don't forget to take in the setup of the stage. I know it's bare minimum there at that time, especially if it's the show.
Yeah,
There's no
overseas,
screen.
you think WCW was sending over 12,500 seats. But
So
it
they
was
were packed to the walls.
But to be fair, it was set up for 2,000 people, so it's actually set up.
Okay, so packed to the walls. You know what? Hulk's right. We should be nicer.
Yeah. Well, the child was supposed to be sitting ringside here in Wembley Stadium in 1992.
Be ringside in this small building.
But he didn't see him there. So he goes backstage. Where's the kid? They told me.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Hogan.
The doctor, the nurse, the whole medical entourage, they told me, quote, "Oh, he died before the match got underway."
Now,
I'm a ghost.
you know,
So this
he's
is night-
revised this story lately.
Oh, it's not 1992 at Wembley Stadium anymore?
Well, he said that he met the kid and he smelled like death. And he
So he's
knew,
like a cancer-smelling dog?
He knew the kid was going to die imminently.
So he felt like people weren't believing it, so he had to add another little wrinkle. That's crazy to operate.
To be fair, there is a very distinct smell of, like, hospital chemicals and medicines. Like, that just, it's a very dumb way of saying it, but...
But he's meeting him at the stadium. That carried on to his person?
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't aired out yet?
Hang on.
Oh.
Oh, I have his actual quote here. I like the previous quote. Simon Cowell originally came to the U.S. to help me with a wrestling album, and he never left. He reveals.
Oh, I remember hearing that. That's funny.
And then, yeah, the story is I was in Wembley Stadium. Oh, okay, he says stadium. But this is a different... I was in Wembley Stadium with meeting Make-A-Wish kids with Mr. T and Michael Jackson.
Oh, boy.
One kid in particular was in really...
Marco, I'm not doing no blowjobs in front of no children.
One kid in particular was in really rough shape. The EMTs were with him, and he was on a stretcher. His body odor had a smell to it that I hadn't smelled in a while.
What does that mean?
Hogan knows death. That's funny.
His parents were freaking out.
He's like a hardened homicide investigator. He's like, Mr. T is puking, but Hogan knows.
Oh, those look good.
Yeah. I knew he was in trouble. I said my goodbyes and gave him a huge hug and kiss. And then I talked to him about our Savior Jesus Christ. No, he doesn't.
Of course, yeah. I was going to say, of course, because that's what
I
he
organized a nice place for him and his family, ringside at Wembley Stadium. Wait, so Mr. T and Michael Jackson were at the wrestling show?
Yeah.
Guess so.
Okay.
They're meeting Make-A-Wish kids.
So, right, he doesn't see the kid, so he writes the song.
Why was Michael Jackson meeting these kids?
I'm just here to wrestle.
And he says, if you need a witness, Jimmy Hart was with me that night, and we sat down. This is the night of Wembley Stadium, 1992. We sat down right away in the dressing room. Another Hulkamaniac in heaven. There's one empty seat in Wembley. The little Hulkamaniac that came to see me. It's a ballad, a slow song. Anyway, we sat up and we wrote 10 or 11 songs that night. This is completely different than him and Vince locking themselves in a hotel room, like just completely flummoxed.
Yeah, you just fucking bang out an album in one night.
He's music inclined. The movie stuff was crazy. He was on the shitter. He's like, they're all coked up. They're like, how do we crack this nut? Man, Jimmy and Hulk just are, boom, 10 or 11 songs that night. Because once we wrote one, we were on a roll. And then he says, first of all, I listened to this whole thing after I read this chapter. I listened to the half hour of the songs. A lot of these lyrics are just one lyric repeated.
Yes.
There's not a lot too. There's not too much to these songs. I can't even remember what my favorite one was.
I want to be a Hulkamaniac.
No, I did think to myself, God, did Tim and Eric really? Were they? The sound of it sounded like those Tim and Eric songs from back in the day. I wanna be a Hulk. And you can see Tim and Eric pointing and dancing, in front of things and looking like they're in a screensaver. I had to save someone. What do I save? Oh, I was doing this, and that's the. Let me scroll through because I know I did. I did something here where I was like, I gotta remember what my favorites were. Maybe not. It's because some of the lyrics were making me laugh. Where was it?
Hulkster's in the house.
Where
You want
are the
to
lyrics?
real quick here, Wilson?
What's that?
You want to go through it real quick? No.
Which one?
No, I forgot Spotify's on us. So if a mate owns Hogan's back catalog, we might get pulled down.
I'm trying to find the lyrics that I liked, but me with all my screen caps and all that. Where the fuck is it? If I type in brother, will it come up? Will it pick up the text? No, it's just pictures of my brother and me. Oh, I got it. Here we go. Yeah. So on one of the songs, it's his. I can't remember which one it's called. There's like dialogue, and it's just him saying random things while he's rap. It's his rap. I think this is the one that's his like rap. One is people talking to him. Are you a Hollywood producer? And he says, "Hey, check out the Pythons, baby." And then somebody, I think this is Linda. He says, "Linda's on the." Oh my God! And then he says, "Would you look
album?
Yeah. Somebody, are you a Hollywood producer?" He's going, "Hey, check out the Pythons, baby." Oh my God! Would you look at that? He says, "Would you look at that? Hey, check out the Pythons, baby. Are those real? Anyone want to arm wrestle? That is so awesome. Hey, check out the Pythons, baby. What's up, dog? Would you look at that? Where's your Harley? Hey, check out the Pythons, baby. Check out the pump, jump."
I wish I could find out where this is. So I could...
What, the lyrics? I just typed in, whatever. Look at the song. I don't know. I typed it at that time. I was typing in the songs. You like my Harley? Get in the wind, brother. So there you go. Yeah, Linda sings on the songs. Yes, Linda does sing one of the songs. Can't remember it. I wish I would have screen capped the... you just type. You can see the track list if you type in Hulk Rules album. So he says, of course, Linda ended up sounding so good that they pulled one of the vocal guys off the song and gave her a couple songs.
That's money that's back in my pocket.
Oh, Now remember, he writes this in 1992. It gets released in 1995, according to him. Okay, 3 years pass, and then they finally get around to putting it out. The profits from the record sales went to the family of the kid who died. They were having trouble paying his medical bills, so we helped out.
They're in the UK.
That's what I wrote. Kid is he's National Health, it's NHS. It's 3 years later. Like maybe they might have still some, but they'd be like 3 years. Like what?
Oh boy.
Go, you can find the album on YouTube. Go listen to it. It's not good. Jimmy Hart's got a song.
Jimmy Hart of the Gentrys?
Yeah. And it's about meeting a woman. He's married. Okay, okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think both him and the woman in the song are married, but they're having they're just laying on the sand on the beach. Just part of the life of being in the wrestling. What is it? The traveling wrestling boot band.
Yes.
That's what he keeps saying. It's life with the.
I'll take Hulk's
It's
band.
very.
over Gary's.
It's got some Jimmy Buffett vibes, The Hasselhoff position, 53. While the NWO was taking over the wrestling world, Hollywood Hulk Hogan was making motion pictures. In 1996, he's in what he calls a couple low-budget kids films, The Secret Agent Club and Santa with Muscles. And he says they were big successes. Like all my other films, it made money. And I wrote, no, Santa with Muscles was an absolute bomb. I think, what did this is legit.
That's the Belfort one, isn't it? The Jordan Belfort produced.
Now
one?
can I find this? I have it here. That's right. I was like, I remember now. I had all his movies and how much they made.
It made $200,000.
yes. It made $200,000.
And that's
I think
despite Ed Begley Jr. and Mila Kunis.
Excuse me, it made $200,000. Thank you to Hulk Hogan, shrewd budgeting.
And I gotta say, because he goes, I also made Ultimate Weapon, which I could only find the trailer for. I couldn't even find that listed on here, so I assume it went straight to TV or to VHS.
Oh, Garrett Morris is in Santa with Muscles.
Yeah. But he says, like all my other films, it made money, and it's okay. Let's go through his box office. Well,
hang on.
He's got 3. So the next highest grossing after $198,000 for Santa with Muscles, his next highest grossing is 1998. Three Ninjas, High Noon, had whatever it was, Mountain, $308,000. Mr. Nady makes $4 million. Suburban Commando made $6,950,000.
Oh yeah, but Mr. Nanny, the budget was 10.
Whoops!
It lost $6 million.
Yes, yes, that might have make money, baby.
God knows what the Suburban Commando. If it was 10, also for Suburban Commando, also lost money.
It was $11 million.
There you go. Okay, and then
what
Bar.
Hogan's gonna say. Hogan always says, home video.
There you go.
Well, yeah. Now we're getting to streaming rights. Tubi. I've seen you on Tubi.
He also did a couple 2-hour movies for TNT, Assault on Devil's Island, which was going to be a pilot for a series. And they also did a sequel called Hunt for the Death Merchant.
These are some badass titles, though.
Oh, I did right. Because in Hogan's mind, he probably, when he says, like, all my other films that made money, I was like, by the truest definition of that they made money. Not a lot, but they did make. You can't argue with them. I played a Navy SEAL named Mike McBride in those movies.
That's twice he's been a Navy SEAL.
I wonder why Jesse doesn't like him.
He's going to Jesse going like, it's not. I don't. Is that all you guys do? I
stared Ho Chi Minh in the eyes. What did you do for your country?
if he had to smoke, okay, this is his description of Mike McBride. If he'd do anything to survive. If he had to smoke dope with the Viet Cong to steal their gun, he'd do it. So he's Jesse.
Yeah, that's right.
McBride was a great character. Funny thing, kind of like the WCW or the Soundstage tour. I found myself working with the same guys again: Schwartz, Burke, and Bonin, the Baywatch boys. And he says basically, TV movies were a way to make money during their off season. Okay. He says, I had the Hasselhoff position. This is just Hogan. This is a chapter of Hogan going, I was making money. 25% of the company. But my partners, as good as they were trying to talk me into taking less and less money because they, quote, needed it on set. They would say things like, it's your company too. We'll make money on the back end. But Hogan wants that cut right up front.
I'm going to park it in some CDs, get a reasonable return on my investment, and let's talk in 6 months.
My co-stars were Carl Weathers, Shannon Tweed, and Marty Cove.
Hell yeah, Shannon Tweed.
They were all pros.
Yes, she was.
Larry, you seem like a guy that would like the Shannon Tweed movies that would play at certain times.
I don't know that I actually have seen one, but I know her oeuvre.
Um,
I've seen similar things.
we were in Vancouver, Canada. See, the second movie. He says the first one was shot in the Key West, Bahamas, and Tortuga Island, and so the shoot in Vancouver, Canada. He's gonna get mad here. Well, why we shot there in Vancouver? Oh, this is where it is. We shot in Vancouver to save money. It was it was Hawaii all over it again. Canada is begging people to come over and shoot in Vancouver, giving you a hell of a break on all the production costs. Everybody's coming to Vancouver. They told us. Who's they? So we went to we went to Vancouver.
Hollywood types.
And then we scouted locations. Oh, there's Hogan again. We checked out the prices on the trucks, the equipment, the honey wagons, the catering. Fantastic deals.
Oh, here's the part you were talking about.
Yeah. Yep. 9 months later, it's time to shoot. All of a sudden, the deals are gone. So the light that we were going to get for $100 a day had become $500 a day. The steady cam we were going to get for $200 a day had become $2,000 a day. Supply and demand, brother.
Hulkonomics.
And he goes, they were right. Everybody was going up there, but no one told us how limited the supplies would be because of that. And then the weather was miserable. He says it was snowing and raining. But he says his partners managed to turn a 28-day shoot into a 14-day throw something on the screen. And he says movies did really well. TNT liked the premise and they liked the ratings, and they wanted to make a third one. And this is again that thing of, it was great. Everyone loved it. Why then would nothing else happen with it? Well, because of Vancouver. He was just tired of slogging through the mud, not making a lot of money. So I said I wasn't interested in doing another one. Canceled his own projects again.
Just keeps getting in the way of his own success.
Yeah. Showdown at Mega Mountain, 1996. Denver, Colorado. He's shooting Three Ninjas. With Lonnie Anderson and Jim Varney. WCW is beating the WWF in the ratings.
Jim Varney.
Stomping a mud hole in Vince, he says. Word on the street was that WCW wanted to re-sign him to a 2-year deal. And he says, why, what else could they do? He's doesn't matter what people think. He's getting the ratings. He's drawing the people to the building. Anyway, we were shooting the movie at night. Takes your body a while to adjust to that type of nocturnal vampire-like lifestyle. So he's getting used to night filming. And it was the second night. 6 a.m. He's tired. I still had my makeup on. I even had the wig I wore in the film still glued to my head.
That's his excuse.
And here's why. I hadn't let the makeup artist take any of it off because I was so beat. I said, it's okay. I'll just rip it off when I get to my room. It'll leave a ring of glue around my forehead, but I don't care. So that's what's up. Why didn't he take it off? It's just, one, he's tired. He's too tired to have them take it off. He just wants
It's just a ring of glue on my forehead.
and also the ring of glue on his forehead when he rips it off.
It's fine. It's what I love doing at the end of a long day is having to deal with the ring of glue.
I feel
around
like
my
Vince commented on the hair. Like, why do you still have it on? And so he's like, just so we're clear. But that still doesn't explain why would he wear
Look,
it to...
dude, it's been a long day. You know how it is.
Why would you wear it in the ring then? On day...
It's tired, okay?
Was he telling people like, well, if people saw that I have hair in the movie, they'll be confused.
Yeah, we want to be consistent.
He wants people to think he grew out hair for the role.
Well, maybe
Is that
he's
what he wants
method.
people to think?
Maybe he's method, and he wants to stay in character 24/7.
When that wig comes on, dude, I am whoever he played. They only call him by that name when the wig's on. Let's see. So he's walking through the lobby. He's tired. He has the dumb flat top wig on. Monster! Only one guy's ever called me that. It was Vince McMahon relaxing in a chair in the lobby. He was in town on business, staying across the street. And he'd heard that Hogan was in, the other hotel across the street. And Hogan says, brother, let me go up to my room and get this wig off my head, get the makeup off. I'll come back down. So they do. They have a cup of coffee, he says. Mostly we talked about the crap we pulled on each other. Why did you do that to me? Well, why did you do that to me? Why did you say that? Why did you say that? That kind of bull. For 2 hours. And they got stuff straightened out. So I'm guessing this is when the Arsenio Hall thing got squashed. But that does sound like, from what we've read in other books, a very Vince conversation.
Yes.
Why did you do that to me? So Vince says, what about coming back over? And Hogan says that would be great. I'd love to end my career in the WWF. But he didn't think Vince could afford him. So he just kind of goes, we'll get back. We'll talk about it some other time. I've got another all-nighter ahead of me. And then Vince and they part ways very calmly. You want to keep going?
I'm good.
You
Yeah,
good? We don't want to go through helicopters?
No,
This is a good natural step.
You don't want... We got... Gus says... Oh, to stop on this... Okay, man.
Yeah.
Man, helicopters is so good, though. Okay. That's it.
Figure
Okay.
out, a week from Saturday.
Colin,
Do
if you don't write something, I'm going to force you to be on.
I'm gonna have some bits. I'm gonna have my Larry the Can Man and Omar speech.
There you go.
Maybe,
I thought about should we send an invite link to Ian Douglas, or finally try to or pay the money for Vince. And then I was just like, they don't listen. I know Ian said he did. That has to have stopped by now. But what else? Any ideas? No, not really. Just we'll reminisce about the what a sell. We'll reminisce all the books.
Isn't
You
that
wanna
what
hear
every
us-
is anyways?
Yeah, go ahead. That was good. We don't talk about everybody. We just remember the Terry today. with her slow
And
internet.
Howard.
Yeah,
Howard
I have
Stern.
him in there. I do have him in there.
What about Hiram Garcia?
Who is he from?
Remember,
Wait, we
he's
gotta have all the
Annie's-
wives, right?
he's
So,
Annie's brother.
Amy Ruth.
Oh, that's right, because he's
Remember,
writing.
he's the one who like runs Rock's production company.
Yes.
There were stories about him in those trades.
Yes.
What,
Okay.
Amy Russo, Pam Severn.
Pam? Who's Pam?
Wasn't that Elle's wife, Pam?
Oh, yes. Pam,
Fabulous Maria's toaster.
Pam. What's Al's name again?
Oh man.
Al, what is it?
Severn.
Severn. Pam Severn. Is it real like Dan Severn?
It's Severin or
It's Sarvin.
Sarvin. Pam Sarvin. Got it. Okay, she's in. Yeah, the problem is when I'm trying to think, I keep bouncing between all the books and stuff, and then I get distracted, and I think Larry and I ran into it the other night. We were trying to come up with names, and it just I have to go by each book. I have to really stay on and be like, okay, who do I remember? Like, who was the one gal that should we? I was like, we put her? Remember when they sent the old professional wrestling woman to Davy Boy's, or not Davy,
Princess
to
Toma.
Princess what?
It was Princess Toma, wasn't it? Wasn't that one of the rats?
Princess wrestler woman. I can't remember. See, I have to go through these books and like post-it note some of these things. But I was like, because that was he kept bringing her up, didn't he? We were laughing about
Yeah,
that.
she was like a well-known.
And then they sent her to what? Dynamite Kid. She got sent to Dynamite Kid's room, and they laughed because Dynamite Kid was liked it. Yes, I'm up to 44 people.
Right here, yeah, it was Princess Toma. She was married several times and had 4 children. Brett says.
Princess Toma.
But I don't know if that's the woman who they sent to Dynamite's room. I think that might have been a different woman, but I could be wrong.
Wasn't she Native American? I want to say.
I was thinking Caribbean for some reason. That's all right.
Older or
You're
very
not gonna-
old. Very old. No, I'm just typing this. This is for the. No, this is for the tournament. Very old professional wrestler woman. We can't remember. Well, I'll get it. Yeah, we've got Jack Foley. We've got little kids squishing shit. We will figure out who the greatest literary character is, even though they're real people, unfortunately.
I say.
All right. Who is it?
Kathy.
Okay, Kathy. She's
She's pulling in weight every day.
The journey of Kathy had us on pins and needles.
Can we just read some parts of that book?
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna read parts. I'm gonna pick out some parts out of each book that we'll go through. The Vince one is gonna be tough because we just fucking did it. I don't like it. Yeah. Do we put the whole? How do you put bitch slap in there? The bitch slap. Just put the bitch slap roster.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See. All right.